Hi, in this video we'll continue building the Finder component. We will open the Finder component template and add the App Finder sidebar component here. If we go back to the browser, the App Dialog controls are rendered. Now let's create the sidebar group component via the Angular file extension. We'll also create a sidebar item component. As usual, we set the change detection strategy to onPush, and we do the same for the other component. Then we export them from the index.ts file and import them into the applications module. Next, in the sidebar item component, we get rid of the ng on init lifecycle, and then we declare a sidebar item input field. Then we start building the template. As usual, we start with a div with a class sidebar item, and inside of it we'll have an image. We also want to specify the source and the alt attribute. And we assign it a class sidebar item image. And we only want to display this when the sidebar item is an image itself. The other possible scenario is to have an icon so we don't need the alt and source attributes. And this one will have the class sidebar item icon. We only want to show it when the sidebar item is an icon. Every icon will have its color and will be the same as the sidebar item label. In the end, we will have a title, and that's all for the sidebar item template. In the styles, we'll first import the helpers. Then we'll make the sidebar item displays as a flex, and we want to hide the overflow on the x-axis. The title's font size should be slightly smaller, and we want to prevent the user selection here. The image will have a width of 0.9 rem with a little margin. And we will use the filter to make it look a bit grayish. For now, we'll add the same styles to the icon as well. Then we'll start building the sidebar group component template. Within a div with a class of sidebar group, we'll have another div with a class sidebar group title. But let's first define the sidebar group input, and then the title will be the sidebar group's category. Then we want to loop through the sidebar group items, and for each item we'll render the app sidebar item component. We move on to the styles, and we want to add the bottom margin to every sidebar group. And we want to make the title a bit smaller. We'll give it a color of MAC gray. The font weight should be 500. And also we want to hide any potential overflow here. Next, we'll go back to the Finder's sidebar component, and we'll start using these new components here. We'll have the app sidebar group, and we need to pass in the sidebar group for every sidebar group that we defined in the previous video. If we go back to the browser, the output will be a bit messy, but we'll fix it in a moment. We want to add the styles for the Finder sidebar component. And it will have a little padding, and the background color should be purple 0. The height should be 100. And we also want to make some separation from the dialog controls. Now it looks a bit better. We have to go back to the Finder component SCSS and add a styling here. We start with a Finder class, and it should be a flex with a height of 100%. And then we will give the sidebar width of 35% and also a max width of 200 pixels. The content will be a bit wider and it will have a width of 65%. We'll also add a simple media query, and on desktop devices we'll make the sidebar even smaller and the content a bit bigger. I made a small mistake in the sidebar item component, so I have to add another underscore in the image class. It looks good now. I'm going to paste in a few new color variables in the variables.scss. I will go to the trash component and I will inject the store first. Then I will define a folders observable which is going to display the trash folders. And in the store.ts I will copy the desktop folders observable and rename it. And it will just render all the folders included in the deleted folder IDs. This is good enough for the component class. And I will copy the template from the Finder and paste it in. And the styles as well. And if I save everything and go back to the browser, and now when we click on the trash component, we can see that it renders successfully. I can now delete one of the folders and the trash will display it. So that was it for this video. Thank you for watching.